So I recently came across a video which talked about how to improve your memory and to retain more information. And I found it quite interesting, so today I'll go deeper into it. And so firstly, how does our memorization even work? And so basically our brain splits new information into two different parts. And so first is the sensory memory. And so that's where we can basically process anything that our senses detect. And the attention span is very low and it doesn't stick and it's quite short term. So unless you actually try to remember what you see, then it disappears in about 15 to 30 seconds. So if you think about it, if I asked you, like if you were out on your run yesterday, what was the third car you saw? Obviously, in the moment, you would see what color the car was. But now, if you look back on it, maybe after 20 seconds or more, then you'll forget what that small piece of information was. And so, we forget a lot. And so we can only handle about 4 to 7 things at once in our brain with the short-term information. And so that's why we lose a lot of it so quickly. And the other one is the long-term. And so, it goes over, it's like over time, and you've gone over the thing a lot of times before. And that creates pathways that your nerves create in your brain. And so, so that's how we're able to remember it for so long. But actually, even if we don't practice our long-term memory and practice those pieces of information a lot either, then we'll also forget them. And it's actually physical in our brain, where when we forget something, pathways change and shift, where pathways can be broken and they can also be formed. And so next, why do we even forget things? And so first I'll talk about why we forget things immediately. And so this is because we disregard the important things and keep the important things. And so you sort of have to try and make the things that you need to know more important. So sort of prioritize it and think about what the brain remembers easily. So the brain finds things that are uncommon and rare, as well as easy to visualize, easy to remember. And on the other hand, they find things that are like abstract and ordinary that we see every day, very easy to forget. And so you have to try and make the things that you need to know stand out. So for example, like associating a word with a picture can really help because you're able to visualize it and you'll be able to remember it more. And so I remember I used to study Chinese when I was, I think, 2 years ago. And I guess I haven't done it in a really long time, so I've forgotten a lot of the words. I think I knew maybe like 300 or something, maybe more, maybe a lot more. But now I only know maybe like 50. But so some of the ones that I've never forgotten are like water, fire, and mountain because because they look similar to what they look like in real life. So for example, mountain is just like I can't really draw it, but it looks like a mountain like in real life, so it's easy to remember, and that's why I've been able to remember it for so long because I'm able to visualize it. And then now I'm going to talk about memory decay, which is why we also forget, but over time. And so over time it's because you just don't practice it enough. So there's a quote called "use it or lose it," where basically if you don't practice it, you'll just forget. So I also study Japanese right now. And I remember when in the summer I had an exam and I had to memorize quite a few words. I think it was up to 200, and just Japanese words. And I haven't practiced them in a long time. But so I've forgotten quite a few, like up to 50 words from that piece of vocab. Where if I practiced it and spaced it out, I'd have been able to memorize it and still have it to this day. So for example, if you ask me like what the color red in Japanese was, I would forget because I haven't gone over it, and because I just haven't practiced it enough. And finally, I want to talk about like a way to memorize things for forever, I guess, and that's spaced repetition. And so you have to find the time. So to make it more effective, you have to find the time just before you're about to forget something for the maximum gain. And then after that, just steadily increase the time between each time you look back on the information. So maybe you can go every day at first, and then every 2 days, and every 3 days, and every week, and every month, and then so on. And eventually you'll be able to memorize things, I guess, forever. So if I did that with my Japanese, then I'd still be able to remember everything to this day. And yeah, if you think about it, yeah, like we remember words that we use a lot. And so, for example, yeah, I can't forget a word such as and. Like, I can't forget how to spell it because it's just imprinted in my memory because I've used it so much. And so, on the other hand, if it's like niche words such as cumbersome or something, like I sort of know what it means, but yeah, I've like if I don't look back on it, I'll in like some time I'll forget it. And same with like other words that I've like looked at once, but I haven't looked at a lot of times. So yeah, so I guess if you want to memorize something, you have to go over it and space the amount of time you look at it. So I think the main things you have to take away from this are firstly that we forget things immediately because we don't classify them as important. So you have to prioritize that piece of information that you need to memorize. Second is to the reason why we forget things over time is because we don't practice them enough. So you have to use spaced repetition to have the maximum amount of time for you to memorize things, and then you'll be able to remember them for forever, I guess. Thank you for listening. I hope these points help you later in life. Or yeah, so thank you for listening.